Welcome back to the Road to National series. Today I'm going to take you through a max effort lower workout, and later on I'm going to be revisiting the max effort method. But first of all, this is my max effort variation for today, which is an axle bar deadlift. Now, I was not feeling good going into this session. I think I had some fatigue, some neurological fatigue from my big 150 kilo close grip bench press the day before. If you want, go and check that video out. But when I came to do 240 kilos here, it did not move smoothly at all, and without getting too graphic, I had eaten some probably dodgy fish the night before, and I'd been on the toilet all morning. So I decided to move up, because sometimes when things don't feel good, they go okay, but I had a bit of a toilet scare there. I didn't know what was going on. Things did not go to plan in essence. So I was evaluating what to do, and I felt my right hamstring suddenly started to feel worse, and I think I tweaked it on that deadlift as well, just breaking it off the ground. So I decided to do the smart thing and just step away. I used to get bogged down so much in trying to hit a max effort, but I was pressed for time because currently I'm on my way to Dubai. My next sessions will be abroad, and I'm going to talk you through what you should do when lifting abroad, but that is for future sessions. For this session, I decided to step away from the max, which was a bit disappointing, but I was feeling sick. I was feeling fatigued from the max before. It was the right call. So onto the accessories. I started off here with belt squats, was very happy to work up to 100 kilos for sets of 15 with these. If you've been following this channel at all, you'll know I've been working through a knee injury, and being able to do fairly heavy knee intensive squats has been fantastic. A few weeks ago, I'd aggravated it so bad I couldn't do body weight squats. So being able to do these was a great step in the right direction. I was very happy with them. And today is the following day at the time of recording this voiceover, and my knee has no pain whatsoever. It's the best it's felt in literally years. So very happy with that. After the belt squats, I move on to do hamstring curls, then I go on to do calf raises, and finally I end the session off with hip adductors, which doesn't quite go to plan either, but you'll see that later. So whilst those accessories are playing in the background, I'm going to talk to you about the max effort method. Now, first thing to say is I've already done a video on the max effort method. Episode 2 of this series covers why I train the max effort method, the principles behind it, and how I utilize it, what I think the benefits are, the huge neurological adaptations you get. Now, I'm not going to cover that in this episode. I might revisit that sort of thing further down the line in this series, but for those of you who have been keeping up with the series, I'm not going to constantly repeat myself. I'm going to revisit the same topics, but I'll add something new. So today I'm going to be covering whether you should reattempt a failed max effort lift, and how you should program max effort. So the first thing I'll cover is whether you should reattempt. And this video is quite fitting. I didn't plan it this way, but obviously I didn't reattempt that 280 kilo axle deadlift. And my general verdict is no, you should not reattempt failed max effort lifts. And the reason is because your chances of succeeding after failing are very, very low. Even if you failed a max effort lift, the neurological fatigue you experience immediately after the lift is massive. You feel run down straight away, even if you've sort of given up really early on. I didn't have a grinder on that deadlift, for instance, but I decided not to reattempt, and that will still have provided fatigue, just the sheer weight of it, even though I literally just broke it off the ground. Now, the other factor is obviously if you feel a little niggle or injury like I did in my right hamstring, definitely don't reattempt, because that could be something that you could exacerbate and create into an actual full-blown injury. Today is the following day while I'm recording this voiceover, and it doesn't feel too bad. It is slightly painful on my inner right thigh and my inner hamstring, sort of going into the adductor. But it would have been so much worse if I tried to reattempt. So don't reattempt your max effort lifts. The only time that you are going to be okay and actually succeed, that 1 in 20 chance, is if the reason you failed was either because you weren't concentrating or because you misgrooved it, or there was some sort of technical issue. Generally, people fail max efforts on strength, not a technical issue. They sort of lie to themselves. Sometimes you can have gym partners who hype you up and go, you've got that, you've got that. You know, my deadlift sticking point is very high up normally on my thighs. And the number of times I've failed just before lockout and thought, oh, I can definitely do that. I've sort of been my own hype man and been like, the strength's there, the strength's there. You just need to hit the right technique or explode a little more off the ground and carry more momentum into that top position. Nope, I've just failed like 3 times over, and then it's ruined the rest of it, the accessories in my session, and the fatigue, the neurological fatigue I've then developed trying to do 3 lifts. It just nukes my entire week of training. So I really advise you don't reattempt failed lifts. It is not worth it. The mindset you need to have is how strong you're going to be in the long run, not on a single day. So I used to always think, oh no, you know, maybe I'm weaker. I'd have like a crisis every time. Oh, maybe I'm not improving. Maybe I'm plateaued. Maybe I'll never get this strong again. No, just think, oh, I've got like 10, 20 years more of lifting to do. I'm definitely going to beat that PR. My aspirations are way higher than that. I definitely want to deadlift 300 kilos in my life. That is going to be a joke weight to me in 10 years' time. So don't get bogged down in the here and now. Just know that you are going to be stronger than that as long as you do train smart and step away from the weight on the day. So yeah, you need to think of your strength in your career. What are your overall peaks going to be? And that stands for everything. Like, people often get bogged down in the big 3, the squat, the bench, the deadlift. I got bogged down in a 3-plate bench and failed it on probably 20 occasions, doing like 5 attempts each time, because I'd wait 2 weeks and be like a kid, I'd be like, oh, am I stronger now? I'm going to reattempt. And then I would just fail over and over. And I got like so depressed, like, oh, I'm plateaued and stuff. I was just training stupidly and not doing proper max efforts. You should do different variations and then come back to the main lifts very occasionally. So in general, don't reattempt failed max efforts. Now, getting on to programming of max efforts, that is really simple. I do not program them out. I pick a variation that I feel like and I'm passionate about on the day. And that generally rotates for me. So I go through phases. For instance, I've done loads of banded lifts throughout this series. If you've seen most of my benches and squats, they've all been banded. That's just because I hadn't done banded lifts before. And I wanted to build up a log of banded squats and and benches, and some banded deadlifts. But just pick whatever you are happy with on the day. If you're not feeling strong, pick a new lift to set as a max, and then you don't have to break a previous record. The only thing I do program, because all of my upper days are bench maxes, my lower days are squat max, then deadlift max, then squat max in the first week, 3-week cycle, and then the next cycle is deadlift max, then squat max, then deadlift max, just to keep them rotating. But that is literally it for programming. You can pick the variation on the morning as you get into the gym. Now, right there, I just felt my adductor tweak from the end of the first set of those adductions. I think it's similar to my deadlift injury, so I decided to just end it and not persevere there. So that is it for today's video. I hope you did in fact enjoy the video. If you did, drop it a like, drop a comment, subscribe, click the bell, and thanks for watching.